Hello, everybody. So, this article was released in May of 2014. Muslim Brotherhood has a significant presence in Canada, says study urging probe into the group. Okay, so this is a concern in 2014. So I'm going to tell you a bit about the Muslim Brotherhood. We're going to talk about the term Islamophobia really quickly, and then I'm going to get into some concerning stuff that's happening in our House of Commons currently. I'll do the Maxime Bernier video, or the follow-up video to that, the Fallout video, I suppose, to that in a day or two, because I'm giving it more time. I feel like there's another shoe to drop. I don't know what I'm expecting, but for right now, this is what we're talking about. So, okay, so the Muslim Brotherhood has a significant presence in Canada, and this is back in May of 2014. Last updated January in 2015. Okay, so back then, the group that was working to create a report, well, his name is Tom Quiggin, and he does his own podcast too, and I highly recommend him checking, or I highly recommend you checking his podcast, and I don't know if he does YouTube with his, but he definitely does a podcast. It's on Soundcloud. I can link to it as well. But he's worthwhile to listen to. But he produced a report for the government that said that, you know, there's some real issues here. The Muslim Brotherhood was founded in the 1920s by Egyptian cleric Hassan al-Banna. And again, I'm sorry, I'm doing a bad job of your name. I'm not meaning to, or the name. It's not intentional. Excuse me. It's just I'm poor at pronouncing them. Okay, so whose writings were hostile to the West and envisioned its downfall, proposing instead a world living under the tranquility of Islam. Okay, to achieve this, he called for reforms that included mandatory memorization of the Quran in schools, igniting the, quote, spirit of Islamic jihad in youth, censorship of music, films, and confiscation of books and newspapers. Almost a century later, the Muslim Brotherhood is a controversial revivalist movement and political party in the Middle East. It is facing a crackdown in its home base, Egypt, following an ouster of the Mohammed Harsi by the military. And he was the Muslim Brotherhood leader that kind of got into the balance of power after the Arab Spring. Last month, British Prime Minister ordered an investigation into the Muslim Brotherhood, and essentially, I mean, there have been countries that have declared them terrorist organizations. The Muslim Brotherhood have been and have been declared that, and they work to undermine the West's political process, specifically so they can undermine it and take it over. That's the whole adage of that's what they're attempting to do. So, okay, Islamophobia. What's wrong with this term? Okay, the word Islamophobia is defined as prejudice against, hatred towards, or irrational fear of Muslims. And as a definition, that's fine. The problem, however, is not how the term is actually being deployed. Instead of being a word used to criticize an irrational and emotional bias akin to racism or xenophobia, it's being deployed as a means to try and gag fact-based, valid criticism of bad ideas. And I'm not going to read all this to you as well. It's feel free to read it. I think the argument made in this is very well done, which is why I'm linking to it. So understanding the term this way, in my mind, puts the rest of this in context. So this happened March 23rd of 2017. The motion is M103, and the House of Commons passes the anti-Islamophobia motion. Okay, so the idea, the House of Commons passed M103, a non-binding motion condemning Islamophobia and religious discrimination. Okay, so everybody has freedom of expression, religious expression, under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Every Canadian is protected under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So it's really strange that we need this motion to specifically protect one group. Why? So I thought that was weird. It is weird. It's really strange. So I thought to myself, well, and one of our favorite names that keeps popping up, she was there for the nomination of Jinnah Park. She pushed for Jinnah statue in York University, and she has gotten M103 into the House of Commons. Ms. Khalid, I think that's how you say it, the K and the H, Khalid, right? So, and I'm not going to attempt your first name, madam. not going to work for me. So what's in M103? I don't know. Is it connected to the Muslim Brotherhood? I'm not there yet, but it looks like it is. Okay, so text of the motion. So this is the whole, as far as I understand it, the whole text of M103. If I'm wrong, please do tell me. This is it's hard to dig, man. It was like the 4th page of Google. There's a whole lot of news articles talking about the whole text of M103 and what I needed to believe, what you need to know about M103. It's not very long, guys. Here it is. Okay. Text of the motion, that, in the opinion of the House, the government should A, recognize the need to quell the increasing public climate of hate and fear. Ooh. B, condemn Islamophobia and all forms of systemic racism and religious discrimination, and take note of the House of Commons petition E411 and the issues raised by it. And C, request that the Standing Committee on Canadian Heritage undertake a study on how the government could develop a whole of government approach to reducing or eliminating systemic racism and religious discrimination, including Islamophobia, in Canada, while ensuring a community-centered focus with a holistic response through evidence-based policymaking. That's 1. 2, collect data to contextualize hate crime reports and to conduct needs assessments for impacted communities. And the committee should present its findings. Shouldn't this be 3? Shouldn't 1, 2, and? A, B, 3. Okay. And the committee should present its findings and recommendations to the House no later than 240 calendar days from the adoption of this motion, provided that in its report. So you have to make a report. And in the report, the committee should make recommendations that the government may use to better reflect the enshrined rights and freedoms of the Constitution Acts, including the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Okay, so in addition to being poorly written and poorly structured, this mentions Islamophobia a couple of times, but it also mentioned Petition E411. So I thought, all right. Actually, I didn't think all right. I got all of these links from a guy on Reddit. But he made a good case, and I read them all, and man, here we go. Here's Petition E411. And so the petition, we're going to have to remember this guy's name, but we'll come back to him. We're going to read this really quick, and then I'm going to show you that he's connected to the Muslim Brotherhood. So Miss Khalid is referencing a petition written by a known associate of the Muslim Brotherhood. So, and I'll show you how that works in, but he's the leader of the Muslim Association of Canada. This is their website. Link is in the description. Excuse me. And this is the date January 13th is the date that this was found, and I've backed this up offline. I've got a PDF of this, got pictures and screenshots and such. Here it is now, August 24th. So yeah, today. No Muslim Brotherhood there. No Muslim Brotherhood there, but oh, you can't see what I'm searching. All right, never mind. But on the archived one, that's clearly Muslim Brotherhood. So petition E411. Petition to the House of Commons, whereas Islam is a religion of over 1.5 billion people worldwide. Since its founding more than 1,400 years ago, Muslims have contributed and continue to contribute to the positive development of human civilization. This encompasses all areas of human endeavors, including the arts, culture, science, medicine, literature, and much more. Recently, an infinitesimally, sorry, I didn't practice that. I could hear it in my head, but I couldn't say it. Infinitesimally small number of extremist individuals have conducted terrorist activities while claiming to speak for the religion of Islam. Their actions have been used as a pretext for a notable rise of anti-Muslim sentiment in Canada. And these violent individuals do not reflect in any way the values or the teachings of the religion of Islam. In fact, they misrepresent the religion. We categorically reject all activities. They in no way represent the religion, the beliefs, and the desires of the Muslims to coexist in peace with all of the world. They in no way represent the religion, the beliefs, and the desires of Muslims to coexist in peace with all of the world. That sounds weird to me. Maybe I'm not understanding it, but like that sentence sounds like the opposite. Like that sentence sounds like it means the opposite of what it's intended to mean. I don't know if that's just me. That's why I read it twice, and I'm still turning it over. It's really sticking out to me. It's weird. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to say it's weasel words because I don't know if it is, but maybe it's, I don't know. Anyway, so who are you, Samir? And I'm not going to pronounce your last name because it's gonna. If I can't, yeah, I'm going to stick with Samir. So 48 seconds here.
Of Quebec's Muslim community on this. In advance of the report, Samir Majzoub is with the Muslim Association of Canada and my guest. Nice to see you this morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning for you.
You don't have long to wait now, just a matter of hours until we get...
So, and she does a whole interview, and it's about well, you can watch it if you like. It's not really cogent to this argument, but she says that he's the leader of this. This is the Muslim Brotherhood. So he wrote E411. Miss Khalid petitions the government in a motion M103 to listen to E411. And is this benign? Is this something that is just fine for Canadians, that we have a political party in the Middle East running candidates in Mississauga who clearly don't have Canadians' best interests at heart? Is that the intention of our government? Is that the intention of our system? I don't know. Is the Muslim Brotherhood a group that should be allowed to operate with impunity in Canada? Is the UK right to launch investigations into the group, calling the Brotherhood the antithesis of Canadian laws and values? So, what are we doing? I've seen what's happened to London. I've watched what's happened to Paris on videos, on YouTube. It's accessible. Check it out if you're interested. There are no-go zones in Sweden. People are surrendering their country for no reason at all, other than to not be called racist. Well, if you want to call me racist, then fine. Can you guys explain why there's foreign political parties writing motions that are being adopted by our government? Can you explain that? Call me racist all you like. Explain it. It doesn't make sense. So, I'll leave it up to you. Is the Muslim Brotherhood operating in Canada? I don't know. Should we let them? Up to you. Should we start talking about it and maybe investigating it? Should our Conservative Party of Canada be talking about this openly? Should the opposition be questioning this at all? They wonder why Maxime Bernier walked away from the party? Is this not a problem? Am I racist for thinking this is a problem? Tune in tomorrow.